So today we're going to walk through a sample project charter. As you can see in this document, again, you want to highlight the project name. So in this particular scenario, it's the Employee Engagement Survey being done for the Anywhere Park District. From that point, it's helpful to outline the time commitment for your team members. So in this particular scenario, the survey was being conducted between September and December of 2018. In addition, in this section, it's helpful to outline what the expectations are in terms of meetings, as well as the time commitment that the team members will have outside of the meetings. So in this particular scenario, it was estimated that the project work would be about 3 hours a week, which is helpful for folks if they have outside commitments in terms of work, so they know what they're signing up for. In addition, it's helpful to outline what the key deliverables are for the team so that there are clear expectations for the work that the team will do. So in this particular scenario, they're responsible for the survey tool itself, creating weekly communication reminders to the participants, conducting or preparing a final report on the results, and that as well as preparing a presentation on the results for the client. From there, you go into a little bit more into the project scope. So if you've already done the scope of work document, this is very easy. You pull out a lot of this information into the project scope, but really refine it for your team members so that they know what the expectations are as far as the team goes. Moving down from this, you want to outline the project team members. And in this particular team, there are only 3 members, so it's a very small team. Sometimes you'll be in much larger teams where you have many participants from a variety of different departments, maybe some outside participants from other companies, etc. So it's important to outline what their contact information is as well as their role so that they know what the expectations are for the team. And this will change as you go throughout the project if team members come or leave the team. So that's the section related to the team roles. Moving down, there is a section for a project plan. You can be very basic in this. If it's a very quick turnaround for a project and you only have a few key dates. But the rule of thumb is you really want to think a little bit more in detail from the scope of work. The scope of work document, when you give high-level timelines, you're really putting those dates from the point of view of the end user. So you want to have really clear deliverable dates, but you don't really delve down into all the specific steps that are required to achieve those end results. So in the project charter, you want to get into a little more granular detail about all the steps that are required, as well as whose responsibility it is to accomplish each of those steps. And it's a really helpful exercise to walk through with your team because you will likely find as you have those discussions that some folks may or may not know what their role is, and it's just helpful to have the discussion and define who's doing what and by what dates. So that's the project plan. And oftentimes teams will also have a much larger like Gantt chart or some other document where they delve into all of the details, but this is really your first starting point to look at those key dates. And then the project charter ends with a section where you identify the project manager as well as whoever is sponsoring from a leadership standpoint the project. And there's a section here to like sign and date this document. I mentioned in the book that this is essentially a living and breathing document. You will likely reference this as you go through the project, and things may change. So it's really just a starting point to make sure everybody's on the same page. And the approval portion of the charter is really helpful because then you have a reference point to go back if you require additional resources or support as you get into the middle of the project. Because oftentimes you'll find additional needs as you get further into the project. So this is a basic project charter. Again, there are many different examples that you can find on the web, but this is really a starting point or a key example of what you want to include in a project charter.